can think, but it's not free thinking. But what the devil would be like a free thinking computer, because there's not like human emotion in it. It's just knowledge and information, and it's like there's no compassion and sympathy and stuff like that in the computer. So I'm just saying though, what if we kind of build the devil's body, and that's how he enters like our dimension?
You asking me?
No, I'm just saying, like, when it says they make an image of the beast and it shall speak, like, and like it says that, you know, the devil will come in the flesh on earth. What do you think about that? Because that could be an alien. I mean, that could be a robot. That could be a hybrid of some sort, like from Egypt, you know?
I think
because a lot of times, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go.
Well, a lot of times in the Bible, demons can possess an animal, or like well, it's weird because demons, they can possess animals, and then like, but what if they need a body? So the Egyptians was kind of showing like the animal head on the human body.
That's a symbolic representation. So you have to first of all, I'm going to just address the thing that you just said about the Egyptian symbolism with the animal heads. All the deities that you'll find in Egypt and damn near in almost any religion is just an aspect of your soul, just one aspect. So it's not per se saying Anubis, the jackal-headed god. No, it's just saying the attributes of that caricature has these characteristics, and it's just displaying a characteristic of yourself. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about you or your higher self or your soul. It's not to be deified like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the untrained ear or the untrained eye looks at it. But to kind of go back to what you're saying about the beast and the mark of the beast and Revelations, just from what I've gathered, and I can only share what I gathered, is that most, if not all, of everything that's in the Bible is allegorically spoke about and is a symbol of something. But the challenge is to break down that symbol and to apply it, so you can actually figure out what they're talking about and use it. So you're right. You're right in both aspects. You know what I'm saying? And I find it interesting that people always want to choose one way of looking at something over another, when sometimes it's both ways. So when you said, is it a human being or is it something in the flesh? Yes, it is something in the flesh. So when they talk about the beast, we'll have the mark of 666. That really refers to 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, which is the basis of carbon. And why is that actually the mark of the beast? Is because that's the basis of life. Carbon is the basis of all life. So if you want to just use other references in the Bible to kind of break down what that's talking about, I would say that that's talking about the created man. If you want to call him Adam, if you want to call it Adam, or whatever the case may be, it was the created being. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody on this planet is of the same species. Some were created, some were not. And then there was a big mixture of the ones that were created and the ones that were not. The ones that created, the best way to explain them is to call them like a clone, or something like to that effect. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it.
Well, a clone. Yeah, there's another one. Is a clone. Yeah, that's another.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, so if you really look at the story of Adam, is not even the first creation story. One, and two, you find that in the book of Genesis. Genesis, if you break down the word Genesis, is gene. The word gene, isis, osmosis. So it seems like it's a book that is a book of science or scientific experimentations. And if you read the allegorical story of creating this person out of clay and mud and taking the rib, this sounds like genetical engineering to me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like. And splicing it and creating a woman. It sounds like straight gene engineering. So Adam,
Adam gave birth. You ever thought of that?
well, you got to kind of make up your mind. Are you going to look at it from an allegorical standpoint, or are you going to look at it as it actually factually he took a rib from him, which sounds like gene splicing? So if you ever
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so, why do you think we sleep? Because when this happens, it says like a deep sleep falls on Adam. But I don't know if he was sleeping before that, or did sleep just happen like when that happened?
well,
Because we don't have to sleep. I mean, we could animals sleep too, but I mean, well, why? I mean, I guess it's like, I guess you could say physically to store energy and stuff like that. But I mean, it's like we don't have to sleep though. And some people, or like I've heard like people that stay up a long time and like they say like what effects that has on the mind. So, but I'm just saying that I think that Adam couldn't have had a belly button, and he was born like, well, I guess it's weird, but he's ageless too.
didn't Adam perish?
No, he died. There's
That's
a difference in the language. Perish is actually meaning of damnation. But see, that's why death isn't what we think of it as, because perish is like, see, death. All death is a separation from the spirit and the body. So you could say, yeah, that's why Jesus said death is sleep. In a way, sleep is a version of death.
Right.
In a very weird way.
Right. Well, okay. So before we talk about you suckered me into another conversation, bro. I swear you did.
No, this is not a convo. This is a conversation.
Yeah, you suckered
This
me.
is a dialectic
So look.
ceremony.
So stupid. So okay, let's just finish the topic of the beast, and then we can get into sleep. So so if you think about it, a clone being something that is created, right? Almost like a biological machine. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the human body, it's made. It's based off of electricity and magnetism. Your heart is actually an electrical battery. It's made out of flesh and meat and nerves and blood vessels, but it has an electrical charge. That's why when you're passing away or whatever, they can shock your heart back to life. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature.
Yeah.
So really, the body itself is a biological machine. That's why I say be careful, because when you're worshiping these deities that you may call Lord or God, you could just be talking about a higher entity that's responsible for creating a biological machine called a body. You know what I'm saying? Your soul is not your body. Your soul is inside of a body. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like I said, sometimes you got to kind of figure out who's who and who's creating what. So, anyways, but if the body can be considered a machine, right? The body can be considered a machine, then that's what it is. But let's fast forward. What have we created, us as human beings, in this version of civilization? What have we created that's almost the same? We have created computers. We have created artificial intelligence, robots. You're absolutely right. Computers or artificial intelligence, just like how you said, Siri is the beast as well. Just like how the first cloned computer, biological machine body is a beast. Same thing with artificial intelligence.
So look. Wow, I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So So the story is that God creates Adam, and there's a fall of man. So it's like man creates machine, and there'll be a fall of the machines.
Right.
And then that's when. So what I'm saying, like, that is like the devil entering the world, because what we would think evil is a machine that doesn't think like us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because everything is calculations and like it's not like there's no feeling. So it's like it's very like empty, or I guess what people would call a psychopath.
Exactly. Hold on. That's exactly what I was about to say. Now think about it. There are some people on this planet that have more tendency to be psychopathic. I'll let you figure out who those people are. Yeah. These people come from the lineage of the clones. Feel me? And everything I'll let you fill in the blanks. And if you notice, everything happens in a cycle. So if the clones were created in the image of its creators, right? And then the clones go on throughout civilization and then create their creation in the image of them, which is AI, computers, and all that. You see how it keeps going into a vicious cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what do you think? I feel like white people feel like some of them feel like they have to support Donald Trump or something. Like, it's just crazy, because I mean, it's like, okay, he might have been better than Hillary, and I think so. I didn't like Hillary, but he's not a good president. Like, he's not like a good leader. But now it's like it's really crazy. But it's like, I was watching Dr. Joy DeGruy, is a black woman, and she talks about like post-traumatic slavery disorder or syndrome, and she said that personalities are passed through the genetics.
Right.
So okay, this movie Split came out. I'm gonna just tell you the movie. I don't know if you care, but
No, just stick to the topic.
Okay, but it's relatable. This dude had 19 personalities in him, and the lady was studying him as, like, you know, because she was a therapist, and he was like kind of like a project to her. And he was in the movie, he kidnaps these girls, and he has a personality of a child, and a personality of a woman, and a personality of like the man, like the dad. So he has a family personality. And he switches between these personalities, like, all in the movie. And then he says, like, there's a 20th personality coming, and he calls it the Beast. And he's like, when he's in the kid mode, he's like saying, like, the Beast is coming, the Beast is coming. And he's talking about himself. It's crazy. It's one of the craziest movies I saw. But he's saying, like, the Beast is coming, and then, like, the woman was really nice. But when he switched into the man mode, he was like really like strict and mean and like controlling. But the kid kept telling him the beast was coming, which was the personality that hasn't came yet. And in the end, it was crazy because it was a real movie. It wasn't like it was realistic. Like it wasn't like demons or ghosts or anything. But he actually like turns into this beast character, and he gets like superhuman strength, and he starts like they lock him in like a jail thing, and he almost like breaks the bars. Like he's like strong enough to dent the bars.
Okay.
And he's in like this beast mode.
What does this got to do with Donald Trump? Because you went from Donald Trump to Split. So I'm trying to figure out the
Okay. So what I'm saying is that the a personality I guess could also be created too, and that what the lady was saying is that white people have a personality of like a lack of empathy, like a lack of emotion, because they had to have that to do a lot of stuff that they did. But like this lack of emotion gets passed down through generation to generation, and it's like when you hear Donald Trump and stuff, he's like, it's almost like a machine, like to where he acts like he doesn't have like common sense and like he can't relate to like people or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what do you like? Why do you think this is here? Like it's happening? Like,
well, kind of going back to what we was talking about, those ones that were created. You know what I'm saying? Well, first I will have to preface what I'm going to say by saying, not all white people are white. First of all, white doesn't even really exist, but let's just say, just for the sake of conversation, we're saying Europeans, right? But not all European people have the same origin. Just like how not all African people are the same. So you can't look at a person's phenotype as skin color as just a category of what they are. You know what I'm saying? Some white people aren't white. They just have fair skin and they're something else. Just like some black people may have traits of darker skin, but they're really not black. Obama being a prime example of this. He's really not a black man. He's a white man with a tan. And I've said that plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? But so you can't really go off of skin color, but you can go off of actions, just like how you said. The characteristic of not having empathy, or having that psychopath disconnect. That's one way of really telling what a person is, regardless of their phenotype of skin color. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Those people who come from that lineage of created ones, they're robots. That's why they don't have any emotion, because they can just they do what they're programmed to do. You know what I'm saying? But that also goes back to what you were saying earlier about sleep and death. You said, well, why should you sleep? You know what I'm saying? Well, remember, you are inside of a biological machine called a body. Your soul is just visiting this body for a very short amount of time, called a life. We think that 80, 90 years is a long time, but in relation to your soul, it's really short, because your soul never really dies. It never really goes anywhere. It just bounces from place to place and gains or lessens itself. You know what I'm saying? So when you sleep, it gives your soul a chance to return to wherever it's really from, or wander somewhere else. That's what we call dreams, is when your soul wanders back to something else and experiences a different experience. When it's done doing that and comes back into the body, you awaken. But while your soul is While your soul is gone, it gives your body. Remember, your body is a creation by some other higher being. It gives your body chance to heal, to rejuvenate, because your body is a machine. It needs to charge. So when it sleeps, it's charging, just like how you charge your phone. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So your soul comes back
uh,
and lives through its avatar after that. But those without that empathy factor, or those who are disconnected, yeah, they probably don't need to sleep.
yeah.
Because they have,
Wow.
yeah, because I mean, everything that's inside of a body has some soul. You know what I'm saying? But the make and model of the body, depending on the make and model of the body, can give you an idea of how much soul is in that machine. So let's just say a body that's not as melanated, it can only house so much soul. When a body is fully melanated, it can house a whole lot of soul, but not necessarily, but it could. It could. That's why you could have a real dark skinned brother be really positive, or you could have a real dark skinned brother be a straight demon, like a gangbanger, killing everything. You know what I'm saying? He has the potential to fill that body up with soul, but he has not, for whatever reasons. Could be drugs, could be curl activator. I don't know. I don't know.
Um, so, man, I think so. Well, then hell would be the worst nightmare. And when you're in a dream, it's so real. Like you don't even. A lot of times you don't even know you're in a dream until you wake up. So it's like, and then like I've been in dreams where like you can actually feel, stuff, and like well, at least I don't know about pain. I haven't really felt. I felt drowning before, like, and I thought I really was. It was, but I wasn't. But it was so realistic. But it's like, okay. I also believe this too. I also believe that like certain drugs, they must like they alter the brain, but they're altering it, I think, with chemicals. So like it's like certain drugs. Out of the person that created the drug knew, or like a spirit knew or something, but it's like it knows what chemicals will that you need to like enter into a different dimension or something, or like be like possessed by a spirit, because I think that certain drugs are allowing people to enter into different dimensions, or I guess like a dream, but like actually being awake.
That's the key. The key is to dream while you are awake. But as far as drugs, prescribed, natural, whatever the case, food is a drug. Actually, herbs are drugs. I mean, in a way, you know what I'm saying. But synthetic drugs are drugs, and it's not the drug itself that is giving you the ability to explore different aspects of astral realms per se. It's not the drugs. Different drugs, whether it be mushrooms or crystal meth, whatever, all they do is they have a certain content level of whatever, right? And depending on that content level of whatever it's made out of, unlocks certain amounts of different chemicals that are in your brain. The chemicals that are in your brain that causes you to hallucinate, they're already in your brain. It's not the drugs that causes you to hallucinate. It's the drugs that allows so much of the chemical to be released. Like, say, for example, crystal meth releases more of X chemical than weed does, but it still releases some of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you choose how far you want to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the drug itself. Your brain can do it without the drug, or mushroom, or natural drug, or synthetic drug. So, but you're right. When you dream, there's different levels of the dream state. Just like how alcohol is alcohol, but the top of the alcohol is cognac, but the bottom of the same barrel of alcohol is fucking whiskey. You know what I'm saying? But it's still the same alcohol. You know what I'm saying? So when you're into the dream realm, it's the same.
Did you just wait? Did you just record this? Why did you record this?